A hot topic around church is burnout. And today we are going to be talking about that in the beautiful state of Utah. As a young person, being in church, you are one of the most wanted peoples to help serve, help be a part of this group, speak into this. And that's great and that's amazing. One of the biggest problems is then you're being in that group, but then if people actually listen to you in those groups. So the burnout part on being a young person in church is more of feeling heard and feeling seen while also participating in the same events that everybody else is, and playing that role like long term. Like eventually you're not going to be the young person anymore. You're then the young family, you're then, the median adult, all of that stuff. But when you are the young person, you're asked to be a part of all the different groups. But the hardest part is feeling and being heard and seen. In regards to church staff burnout, that is all about the dedication and work ethic that you have as the church staff individual. It's completely different than a young person. There are some staff members that will never experience burnout because, honestly, their work ethic is just not the same. There's certain types of ministries and things like that have to have the harder work ethic, which lead to higher burnout rates than other ones. So with that, in the communications and media field, there's a high rate of burnout right now. And it's because they're normally understaffed, possibly even underqualified people to work in those ministry departments, and they're having to figure it out every single day. So with that, they are, learning classes, taking courses on top of doing their daily responsibilities. That is not the truth and not the case for all other staff members. They did their schooling once, and then now they operate in their knowledge in their situations. With media communications, specifically in that world for church, they have a high rate of burnout. So some things and ways to get around that is to take Sabbaths. Yes, I know Sabbaths are almost a cuss word in church staff culture, but in reality, it is extremely, extremely important. And actually what a true Sabbath is, getting away, doing a bunch of things that you enjoy doing, not feeling like you're tasked to do them. So one of those for me is traveling and traveling with my buddies, like what I'm doing right now. And so with that, I'm taking this time and this break to get ready for the launch that we're going to have at the beginning of 2023. And so with that, that's kind of the mindset that I'm having into this to work while I'm working in church staff world and church staff culture. That helps me with a possible burnout. All right, the last group that I wanted to touch on was burnout for lay church people. So don't be offended by the name. That's what they just call a normal church attender who isn't a staff member, isn't in any kind of way paid by the church. That is, if you attend a church on a Sunday, you are known as a lay member, lay church person, all those different things, a guest, all of that. So with that in mind, burnout for lay people is really because of the amount of work and time that they are willing and wanting to volunteer. So with lay people, it is very much a individual's situation. So some people who are yes people, which, hey, we love yes people, we need yes people, but we also need no people as well. But with yes people, they say yes to all the different things. They say yes to kids ministry. They say yes to youth. Oh, you're a college student, also know how to do worship? Let's do both of those things. And with that, it is a genuine recipe for burnout disaster. And I think that is one reason why church people that are lay people experience burnout, maybe even more than either of the two groups, is because you want to be a part. You want to be involved. You want to share with your time, gifts, and abilities. You want to tithe your talents. With that, be careful. Set up the proper boundaries. Set up the rules and regulations for you and around your life to be able to have an amazing church experience of where you're encountering God every single week, in and out. Don't view it as a task. If you start feeling that you're waking up in the morning on a Sunday and it's like, oh, I have to go serve at church, like, you may be experiencing burnout. You may want to take a break. And also, you need to be able to go to your leaders that you're working for and especially be able to go ask them, hey, I need a serving sabbatical. If that's a week, if that's a month, whatever, be able to get your head in space right to remind yourself that you're working for the kingdom of God while also being a regular just church attender. All right, so now it's been a few days back at the office from the trip to Park City. It was such an amazing time, and it was an amazing moment for relaxation and Sabbath, which is going to help here on the back end of this year to be able to plan and prep for the launch of next year when you're seeing this video. But I also wanted to touch and mention on, not everybody that I mentioned is the exact same. There's going to be communication peoples that don't experience burnout. There's going to be pastors that do experience burnout. You know, most of the time that's a small pastor too, is because they're doing every role. They're the senior pastor, they're the social media director, they're the volunteer coordinator, they're all of those different things. So you do see high burnout rates in other groups as well. I just wanted to specifically mention the communications one. So if you liked this video, let us know in the comments below by telling us things you agreed with, things you didn't agree with. We would love to have a more detailed conversation about this with you, but we just wanted to touch on the idea of church burnout. And so thank you so much for watching this video, and look forward to more stuff coming out here on #church.